Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz. Who's ready to bet on UFC? Me. That's who. So I'm going to be going over the whole fight card for you guys for UFC Fight Night. Derek Lewis takes on Jacob Almeida. 13 fights to talk about going on in São Paulo, Brazil this Saturday night. So you guys got plenty of times to get your bets in and see what you guys like on this card, man. All right. Now look, before we get on with this card, don't forget about the last event that just went off, man. UFC 294, man. And still, champ Islam Makhachev knocks out Volkanovski. Who would have thought? Who would have thought Volkanovski gets knocked out by a head kick by Islam? Who knows, man? Yep. So, look, man, we got a lot of fights to talk about, so let's go ahead and get them on and get it started. But before we do that, Texas Rangers, World Series champs. Did you guys bet them? Did your team win? Mine's didn't, man. Atlanta Braves got eliminated early, and my New York Yankees never made it. Baseball's over with. Now, basketball's back. So you already know, man, I'm representing for my Sacramento Kings, man, and I live in LA. It's just how it is. So let me know what you guys are going to be betting on, for the rest of the week with, baseball ending up. But let's talk about the UFC fight. So let's go ahead and get your money, man. So you got MMA going on. MMA bet with me, beat your bookie. First fight of the night. Let's talk about it. Mark DeCasey, 16 wins, 7 losses, taking on a UFC newcomer, making his UFC debut, KR Fernandez, 8-1, representing from Brazil. So, on this card, you're going to have a lot of Brazilian fighters. Literally, there's a Brazilian fighter on each fight. I don't think there's one fight without a Brazilian fighter. All right, Fernandez, last couple of fights, okay? He's looking explosive in these first early outings, okay? He's knocking out his opponents, and they're not going past the second round. Mark DeCasey, he's been on a letdown, 0-2 in his last 2 fights, but he's one of those guys to where everybody's asking, what is he going to go out there and do? Is he going to go shoot for takedowns? Because that's what he's been doing as of late. Okay, I think he opened up at a -170. The lines came down on him, all right? If you guys ask me, I'm going to tell you like this, man. If this fight gets extended, Mark DeCasey's probably going to be able to win. If Fernandez is able to get what he wants early on, he's probably going to knock him out. Mark DeCasey is a fighter that doesn't like to take hit or take damage once he's in a fight. But the overall skills and the overall pick is going to be Mark DeCasey to win. I think he has more ways to win than this newcomer coming up. So the pick is Mark DeCasey. Second fight of the night, Eduardo Morar, 9-0, taking on Monster Ruiz. Morar made her debut in the UFC Contender Series. I mean, a huge woman. I mean, a big-sized woman, okay? Makes sense. Why? Because she's a big favorite in this fight, okay? She's taking on Ruiz. Ruiz, she's just been thrown to the guillotine when it came to the UFC. Every opponent she's been thrown to, it was for her to be the B-side and not win. She only got 1 win over Cheyenne Buys. Since then, she's been on a losing streak. They just throw her to the chopping block. So, I think the same thing's coming out in this one. I think Morar gets this one done. In this one, definitely. Next fight on the card. It's going to be interesting fight, man. Angela Hill, 15 wins, 13 losses, taking on Denise Gomes, 8 wins, 2 losses. Angela Hill is one of the pioneers in women's MMA, man. Coming off of a loss against Mackenzie Dern, but before that, she had 2 wins over touted fighters, like Emily Ducote got a win over here. She beat Lupi Godinez in a fight that I was at. I had a ticket on Lupi Godinez, -300, and she lost. She didn't go for takedowns, and she lost. But yeah, it's one of those things. So after that fight, I said, I'm not betting against her again. Ran into Angela Hill at Bellator 300. Got an interview with her. You guys can check that out on my on YouTube if you want. MMA Locker Room in Angela Hill. But after I interviewed her, I was like, all right, I'm not betting against her again. Or am I? Denise Gomes on the other side, 8-2, man. All right, makes her debut against Loma Lubabuma. Didn't look good in that fight. Lost by decision. Then after that, she was a big underdog against Bruno Brazil. And she knocked her out. Starched her. And then she was a big underdog against Yasmin Yaguri. And she knocked her out in the first round. It seems like she's walking around with like walking tombstones in her hand, man. And Denise Gomes opened up like a -150. Money's been coming in on Angela Hill on this one. I'm back and forth on this fight, man. I think there's warranted cases for both fighters to win. But I'm going to go with the dog in this one, man. The dog's out the cage. Let's go ahead. Angie Hill represent, man. Represent for San Diego out here. I think she has more paths to win when it comes down to it. I'm taking the plus money and the underdog in that. Angie Hill, let's go ahead and get the job done. All right, next fight on the card. Victor Petrino, 9-0, taking on Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas Bukauskas made his way back into the UFC after, taking a few losses, going over the Cage Warrior scenes. Now he's back, man, and he's back winning. In this one, Victor Petrino's the favorite in there. Minus 260, minus 240. Victor Petrino 2-0 in the UFC. Big guy. He looks like he can do it all. He can strike with you. He can go for takedowns. I like what I see out of Petrino in here. I really think he gets this one done. If you guys ask me for a solid parlay piece, I really like Victor Petrino as a solid parlay piece to get this one done in here. Definitely going on the Petrino side in that one. He's going to have the crowd behind him fighting for Brazil too. Next fight on the card, Daniel Marcos, 15-0, my boy, taking on Victor Hugo, 24-4. All right, this fight's got thrown together on a short notice replacement. Daniel Marcos was supposed to fight somebody else. In comes Victor Hugo. Daniel Marcos, last time out, we made money with him. Forgot who he fought against, but we won with that one. And then I think we made money with him on his UFC debut. He's one of those guys that, is going to give you a lot of pressure out there. But if you're able to press him up against the cage, that's when he's going to slow down. Victor Hugo is a guy to where he's going to be going for takedowns. He's going to be looking explosive. He made his debut on the Contender Series. I like Daniel Marcos in this one. He's a minus 2-1 favorite in here. Victor Hugo, if he can get him down to the ground, might be liable for a sub, but I got to go with Daniel Marcos in this one. I think he's going to be able to get the job done. Moving on to the card, man, this one's going to be a banger, man. Banger alert. In the welterweight division, Renat Fakardinov, 22 wins, 2 losses, taking on Aleksei Zaleski dos Santos. 24 wins, 7 losses. Renat Fakardinov coming off of an explosive win against Kevin Lee where he knocked him out in the first round and everybody thought that, the fight was going to be able to go the distance. Renat Fakardinov's coming off a good win against Brian Battle in a fight that he just took Brian Battle down to the ground 7 or 8 times and just controlled him the whole time. Renat Fakardinov is looking as advertised, if you ask me. He's one of those fighters to where, he's a Russian background, Dagestani background type fighter, but he has shown that, he has power in those hands and he's putting it all together, not just a one-trick pony out there. Technical striker, I like what I see. Once he gets you down to the ground, he's not just going to lay and pray. He is going to try to, submit you. Aleksei dos Santos, on the other hand, man, he's been back and forth in the UFC, a couple of wins, couple of losses. But we haven't really seen him too much action from him as of late. Renat Fakardinov is a minus 240 favorite, I want to say, on the card. Aleksei dos Santos might have a path to victory if he can, use his jiu-jitsu when he goes for a takedown. Might be able to sub him. But before that, besides that, though, if it's on the feet, it's going to be pretty competitive, though. This is the thing. Aleksei dos Santos beat my boy Curtis Millender, choked him out in the co-main event that they both were in. Since then, though, like I said, we really haven't seen him. He hasn't been too active. I love me some Renat Fakardinov in this spot. Not even the spot, just period. I just like the way that he fights. So on here, I'm going to take Renat Fakardinov to get it done. Next fight on the card, this one just got thrown together. Elvis Brenner, 15-3, taking on Kyan Krushgrit, 15-1. Okay, Elvis Brenner was supposed to be taking on somebody else. I forgot who it was, but he had to pull out. Oh, Rubiks. That's who it was. It's Don Rubiks. All right, Elvis Brenner, man, he's been looking like he's been going out there and giving the fight people, entertaining fights, representing the Shootbox Academy out here. Last time out, big underdog, got the win over Garam Kutsalatsa, and then, also got the win over Tukov, so he's 2-0 in the UFC. Can't be mad at that at all, man. Taking on the fight, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Short notice replacement. Don't know too much about him. I do know this, though, man. Like, right now, he's riding a good win streak, man. 6-0, coming off the Contender Series with the rear naked choke. Before that, he was fighting in the Jungle Fight promotion. That's a promotion out there in Brazil. That is a good promotion if you're fighting for in Brazil instead of just fighting for a no-name promotion. So, hey, man, I don't really know what to expect in this one. But I know what I've seen from Elvis Brenner, and I think he gets this one done. So go ahead and take Elvis Brenner to get it done. Next fight on the card taking place. All right, Ishmael Bonfim, 19-4, taking my man Vince Hill from Pichel. 14 wins, 3 losses. Ishmael Bonfim's a -600 favorite, man. His last time out, he wasn't able to get the job done. He got beat by Saint Benoit Denis. Before that, he got the win over Terrence McKinney. Vince Pichel, he had fight lined up after lined up, but he's been getting injured. He had some back surgery and some operations that's been going on, keeping him out of the cage. Before that, he had a fight with Mark Madsen, which a lot of people thought that he won, but the judges gave it to the other guy. Vince from Hell Pichel is a guy that I interviewed before. If you guys want to check the interview out, just Google it up on YouTube. MMA Locker Room, that's me. Interviews Vince Pichel. Vince Pichel, that's his name. 14 wins, 3 losses, man. Older fighter, but a lot of people want to throw his age into that category and say, oh, he's this, he's that. But if you see this guy's physique, yes, he's 38 or 39, but he probably has the physique and the body count, the body fit of somebody that's like 32 or 33. So, man, I think this line is way off, way off. The Bonfim brothers are two guys that, a lot of people like to just bet as a big favorite. Oh, man. And I seen them lose already, man. But, man. Bonfim should be able to get it. Man. All right. So, I'm going to tell you guys like this. Do not parlay Bonfim and think this is just a lock. If you guys want to ask me, I would put some little bit of money on Vince Pichel and just say, let's see what happens. Because we've seen what happened with Bonfim already out there, in certain fights. So, I'm not going to tell you guys to bet on Bonfim at a -600 at all. I'm going to just go ahead and say, man, Vince Pichel is live in the spot. So if you guys ask me, the dog could be out the cage in this one. Do what you guys want with it. Next fight on the card, Rodolfo Vieira versus Armin Petrosyan, okay? Rodolfo Vieira, 9-2, highly touted jiu-jitsu specialist, okay? Taking on Armin Petrosyan, a technical kickboxer, 3-1 in the UFC. All right, let's talk about it. It's a pick'em line, so it's either way you go. On either side, you're getting good value, right? Now, let's talk about the keys to the victory. Armin Petrosyan, if he keeps it on the feet, he's going to be able to pepper up Rodolfo Vieira with jab after jab, kick after kick. Might be able to get him with the KO in round 2. But Rodolfo Vieira's path to victory is just take him down, take his back. Petrosyan's been taken down in every single fight. Some fights he has fighters that's taken him down 2 or more times in there. Rodolfo Vieira is a guy to where he's just going to go and do what he's good at. And what he's good at is jiu-jitsu, taking people down and submitting them. Man, I've been back and forth on this fight all day, all week a little bit. I was going one way, now I'm thinking the other side, man. All right, man. I'm going with the specialist, man. I'm going with Rodolfo Vieira in this one, man. I think when it comes down to it, when you have a specialist that's great at one thing, fighting somebody who has a weakness in what they specialize in, I mean, what's more easier than that? And the price tag on it, too, I'm hearing the whole community on Armin Petrosyan. I'm not that guy that just follow pursuit. I'm trying to make ways and make money for us to get paid. I don't care who it is. Even if you guys don't agree with this pick, and if you guys get Armin Petrosyan off something I say, kudos to you. But the pick is Vieira in here. I think it's going to get him done. I think he finishes him inside the distance with this one. Next fight on the card, we got a banger alert. Banger alert. But before we do that, man, let me know, man, what you guys going to be betting on this weekend, man. Who's your college football team? I'm a Kansas State Wildcats fan. My game of the week is USC versus Washington, man. I think Washington's going to cover that 3.5, man. I really like Michael Penix Jr. But besides that, man, NBA is locked and loaded. Just trying to give you guys more content and everything. Now let's get back to the MMA. Caio Borrello, 14 wins, 1 loss, taking on Abus Magomedov. 25 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw. Caio Borrello is as advertised. Wins over Armin Petrosyan. Wins over, I forget who cares. But in the UFC, I want to say it's like 3-0, 4-0. Coming out of fighting nerds out here in Brazil. One of the camps where I have a lot of up-and-coming fighters who's been putting on and getting into the UFC. They have a winning streak going right now. Y'all should probably see what they got going over there. All right, Caio Borrello is one of the guys that I like, man. He's going to go out there. He's going to try to take you down, and it's going to work. On the feet, he's not defensively sound. He leaves a lot out there to be advertised. But Abus Magomedov is one of the guys that we've seen fight Sean Strickland and fight to where, hey, We thought he was live in the first round. And then what happened? Sean Strickland got the win. I think Kyler Barillo gets this one done. I'm taking him inside the distance. He's a -300 favorite. Next fight on the card, Rodrigo Nascimento taking on Dontel Mays. It's a rematch. It's a rematch, folks. They already fought. You guys know me. I'm not on Dontel Mays. Give me Nascimento easily on this one, man. I like that one a lot. Next fight on the card, co-main event, Gabriel Bonfim taking on Nicholas Dalby. Gabriel Bonfim's a big favorite again. Think he gets this one done. Nicholas Dalby will be live out there. This is another one where I'll tell you guys, don't just parlay everything and think you're going to be straight. Gabriel Bonfim, 15 wins. All of his wins came inside the distance. Nicholas Dalby's never been finished. What's going to happen? I think Bonfim finishes him inside the distance, if you ask me. Main event time. Jonathan Almeida taking on Derek the Black Beast Lewis. Jonathan Almeida opened up a -500 favorite down to a -450. I love me some Jonathan Almeida. I've been betting this guy ever since he came out in the UFC. I've been parlaying him with everything. I'm going to take him to win inside the distance. It's going to be chalked. Yes, Derek Lewis can knock out anybody. Yes, if Jonathan Almeida shoots for that lazy takedown and sets it up, we see what happened to Curtis Blaze. Derek Lewis could do it again. I was never a Derek Lewis fan, though. I probably only bet him maybe once. Maybe. But so that's my take, man. Yes, he has a lot of knockouts and stuff, but to me, I just don't think he's a good mixed martial artist, MMA fighter, and I don't think he really got better in a lot of things. I think he improved on a lot, but as a fighter, I don't think that he's been competing at the highest level. So if you ask me, Jonathan Almeida gets it done. All right, Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz. If you can't roll with the Pick Dawgz, stay on the porch. Look, my bulletproof parlay. Go ahead and take Jonathan Almeida. And then go ahead and take, who is it? Victor Petrino. 2-leg parlay to get you paid. I like to call that my bulletproof one right there. If you guys want to see what I'm betting on for the rest of the card, hit up Pick Dawgz. We got it all up there for this on the site. Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz. Smash that like button for me and drop a comment below. Who you guys betting on? Who's your favorite fighter?